Hi there, Internet people. This is Chris Kutzer, founder of Cary Spotlight, a hyperlocal newsletter in Cary, North Carolina. We publish our newsletter daily. It goes out as an email and also lives online. We are 17 days away from the anniversary edition of Cary Spotlight. And on this journey, we are covering week by week the past publications to see if there's any lessons that we can learn, any content that we'd like to use as something as evergreen or as a template for stories that will move forward, and also as a helpful guide for people who are inspired to publish a local newsletter of their own. So there you go. This is me just jotting down my thoughts for the future, for my future self. Here we go. This is our Tuesday edition. This is where we come up with a big list of events for the week so people know what's going on. And we start off with a major investment story in Cary. So, again, that's a job story and also a sense of pride in our area to say that, these big international companies would want to bring their enterprises to our area. And then there's a huge fire story that put counties on alert. And then there's a delay in Apple developing their campus. So that's kind of the opposite of a good story. But again, people are keeping an eye on the arrival of Apple and all its employees and all the influx of money and jobs and things that will bring. And then we also have our Cary Police Department crime data that we publish weekly. That's a summary of the week before. And then we have a sports story. There you go. So we are looking at this Apple for the Apple story, local sports story, and our events, and the answer to the trivia question. Okay. And then on Wednesdays, as is our way of doing things on our editorial calendar, we put health and wellness here, mental health, social interaction, that kind of stuff. So here we start with a spotlight we're doing on a local charity, yes. Fat burning method, walking trails. We put this resource in very frequently so people can get those. And unlocking vitality, so we're talking about that. And here's the story of Garden Heals. So people can learn about the charity and see if they want to get involved. There's a fat burning method, talking about low energy in men, the reason for that, and the whole story right there. And then there's a resource guide and a series of events. So the low energy in men story, we could probably revisit that in the future, see if there's any updates to that. It seems like a good story. And here we go with Waverly Place overall. So this is a community focused story. There's the snake bite record. We are talking about the Olympics. And then looks like a local business spotlight. So here we go. We have our local news story, record bites, so people got to be aware of the snakes, especially since they're looking for water and food, and having our neighborhoods, yards or on the wooded areas, so that can happen. And what's happening to the Olympics, and then we have a local business spotlight, as well as they have a special offer for our members, and we have a long list of events. And this one, we are tackling, letting people know about North Carolina's voter ID requirement. So again, that's more like a social community kind of story. And then talking about pets, rescue pets, and that they're looking for donations, and then also honoring veterans. So we definitely like to include military stories. So here we go. People can know about their IDs, photo ID requirement. Yeah, we might bring this one back more quickly than we thought because voter ID story it's still relevant for people going to the polls. We have less than a month to go. So here we go. Wake County Pets. There's the amputees supporting amputees for the military run, and there's a real talk feedback where we actually show the poll, what's happening with the mixed use developments in Cary and how people feel. So we actually post their information there. So that is a good thing to keep in mind. Real talk, reader feedback. This is 49. So this is a good example of that where we share that data. Definitely something where we want to keep that idea alive, that spirit alive. And this one, we're talking about fees increase, fireball display, soccer success. So three-part headline. Excuse me, a little bit of a cold. And we're talking about the implementing a new card processing fees, so people should be aware of that. And there was some meteor shower, so people could have gone outside and saw some lights in the sky and wonder what it was. That tells you what it is. And then we're talking about a soccer player representing on the Olympic team, and then another sports story, the events of the week. And then we get to our second specialty edition, which is a travel and discovery edition. So this, again, we're talking about a travel story. This one is a little bit sad. Sisters Tribute. There's a boxing community. This is out in Colorado. And this is a story here about air travel and then exploring New Zealand as a global traveling story. And then we have another, local business spotlight and tasty recipe. So that's kind of the combinations that we did. So talk about sometimes travel is not just for getting away from things. Sometimes this is to deal with tragedy. This is what this story was about. And this is a record-breaking crowd at our RDU airport. And this is for people like mixing again food and travel, this time exploring New Zealand. So that's a nice story. And then here we introduce best Vietnamese street food here, right here in Cary. People can check that out. And this is the lovely strawberry salad. So this is more like a summer salad. So we'll save that for the summer. And then, as always, we end our editorial week with the real estate issue. Uh, Talking about property sold in the last week. And also, here we're talking about home equity. So we do some summaries of stories affecting real estate as well as mortgage stories. So we have that in there, making sense of that, and people can go and get the real story. And as always, consult a professional, right? So we did that. And that's it. That's the end of the week. And we look forward to tomorrow where we'll cover another week, one step closer to our anniversary edition.